In this video, I'll be showing you how I draw faces. And a quick preface, I don't claim that this is the one and only way to draw faces because there's so many different valid ways that you can draw faces. You just have to see which one works best for you and you're good. So in this video, I'll be going step by step and letting you in on my thought process when I'm drawing. I also made sure to make this beginner friendly, so I won't be adding too much detail to the drawing and there'll be less focus on shading and other concepts. Alright, so the first thing I do when I'm drawing faces is to figure out what type of face that I would even like to draw, and that's where Pinterest comes in handy. I've been able to make a number of boards where I pin all of the interesting faces that inspire me or characters from movies that I love. So after scrolling for 500 plus hours, I finally came across these two photos. So I personally draw portraits in 3 steps. The first step is sketching, second is light details, and the third is dark details / shading. So in the first step, when I'm sketching, I draw a circle, and I know this might be difficult for some people because it is for me as well, but you don't need this circle to be perfect. You just need faint lines to get close to what a circle would look like. Then you add in the jaw. As I'm drawing, I'm looking back and forth between the reference to understand how the jaw is shaped, and then I add in the hair and sort of mark where the hairline is. After that, I add in the center line, which divides the face in half. It tells me which direction the face is looking, because for a 3/4 view the center line is going to be off to the side and a little bit curved. Then I add a line for the eyebrows and another for the nose, and I try to see the distance between the nose, mouth, and the bottom of the jaw from the reference and then replicate it. For the ears, this is usually the distance between the top of the eyebrows and the line of the nose. So I add the ears in really quickly, and for this reference, the hair kind of covers her right ear, so I'm gonna just leave that out. So this is a reference of a girl, Zendaya, but the second reference I'm going to do is that of a guy, so you'll see the difference between drawing masculine and feminine features. Lastly, I add in the eyes, but not too much detail at first, just until you get the proportions right. Now the sketching is done, and then I move on to the light details. In this part, I'm adding bolder lines, I'm defining the shapes a lot better, I'm adding details into the eyes. As you can see, I draw in the iris, the pupils, and then the eyelids, which is a very important feature of the face. Now I remember as a beginner artist, I would never add in the eyelids, but now I see how it makes the eyes a lot prettier, and that's what gives the eyes their character. Then I go on to the nose and I try to draw out the form of the nose, because the nose isn't flat and like none of the features are flat. So I do that by outlining the shadows and where the shadows would go, and that usually brings out the contours of the face. In this stage, I'm also defining the lines around the drawing, around the face, to sort of get rid of the sketchy, rough base that I created. So now this is the third step where I do the shading and add in the darker details. In this video, I'm not going to go too in depth on the shading, just to keep the video simple, but this is where your reference really comes in handy. You need to understand where the light hits the face and where the shadows form, and then you add in your shading. But a tip would be to always keep your strokes light and slowly build up the darkness as you go. Now to draw a more masculine face, we've got Tom Holland. It's Timothée Chalamet, who was Zendaya's boyfriend in Dune. But like every other drawing, we start the face with a circle and then the jaw. And as you can see, the jaw is a lot sharper and more rigid, so we loosely depict that as well. Then I get the hairline, the center line, the brow line, and nose line, which is usually the same distance from the brows as the hairline. Then between the nose and the chin is the mouth, but I could have probably moved it up a little higher. So you put down your place markers for the features like the eyes, nose, mouth, and ears, because this is really important so you don't go back erasing already fully drawn out parts of your drawing or like drawn out details. It just makes it messy. Then you move to the light details stage to get the features clear. Sometimes the stage 2 and 3 kind of overlap, but I try to always start with the light shading and then I'll add the crazy detailed shading a lot later. This is the finished product. So if you guys like this, make sure you leave a like and subscribe and let me know what else you'd like to see, and I'll see you on the next one.